Forget skaters and jaders. We got LaFleur. Or Soliet. Julie Oyer?
For sure, if we fade, then it's a lie. But you know we are the sun, and we'll walk through.
This is Lost Thoughts for episode 8 entitled LaFleur. If I seem excited today, it's because I was so pumped after last night's episode. This week we'll talk like an Egyptian, figure out what it takes to be an other, and answer the question, is 3 years long enough? Yes, this was a fill-in-the-blank episode, but this episode had so many great moments, I was starting to wish for a spin-off series where we chronicled the 3 years that they spent working for the Dharma Initiative. I would call it the Sawyer-Jin Connection, and they'd be best friend neighbors and hang out and play backgammon and drink beer. But I digress. Oh my gosh, the four-toed statue. They keep giving us little tastes. This is the first time that we've actually seen anything of the four-toed statue since season 2. And then like that, flash, it's gone. Will this be the last Flash we see for a while? Or forever? I'm really hoping a short while. Rosie? Jerry? Phil? Horus Goodspeed? With dynamite? Sawyer's LaFleur? And he's head of security? 3 years, he's already worked his way up the ladder. So Sawyer changed his name from Ford to LaFleur. Did any of the other Sawyer Ginnies change their last name? Who is Amy? She's Tony Almeida's dead wife from 24, Michelle Dressler. And she's preggo. Why would Sawyer want to be known as Jim? James is so much better, clearly. Amy and Horus were fighting about Paul. At this point, we're like, who's Paul? But wait, oh, the baby's coming! The writers probably took Charlotte's body away, so they didn't have to deal with the idea of Miles being able to talk to her dead spirit or whatever. Not to mention, I was back to really not liking Charlotte again, so I'm kind of glad she's gone. But we might see her again in Lost, Season 7, the zombie season. Wherever we are, we're here for good. Very pessimistic, coming from the guy who figured out how to time travel brains. Daniel's now saying that he won't tell Charlotte to leave the island and not come back. If it's his destiny, he has no choice but to do it. But that can't stop him from not wanting it to be true. While watching last night, one of the Lost writers was sitting next to me jotting down my thoughts. I was really thinking to myself, man, it would be great if Sawyer and Juliet got together. Question I have is, why would the others shoot Paul and then put the bag over Amy's head? Was their picnic being too loud for the island noise ordinance? Or maybe they were just attracting ants? At this point in the game, the Sawyer-Jin connection has to choose Dharma or the others. Thanks to fate, they chose Dharma. And it's a good thing too, because it's really hard to get into the others. To get into the others, you need 4 years of training in espionage, 8 years of martial arts, and have to have read 42 Stephen King novels. Something that struck me, Amy is pregnant. She got pregnant on the island and she's about to give birth. What struck me was the question, what happened to the condition that caused pregnant women to die? What is this truce that there is between the others and Dharma? That they just will, like, bury their dead or something? The fence. Dun dun dun! Brand shiny new. Man, Tony Almeida's dead wife is a sneaky one. Who is this baby going to be? How awesome is it that Juliet's a mechanic? Man, I really wanted Sawyer and Juliet to kiss at that moment, but they didn't. Hear that, Lost writer sitting next to me? Put that in the episode. Jin can speak English pretty well now. I really hope they give him more complicated things to say. It's a boy! And Juliet's so happy. How messed up is it that the Sawyer-Jin connection has been searching for their people for 3 years? But it begs the question, which people? Are they searching for Locke and the Oceanic Six? Or are they searching for the losty survivors of the Fire Arrow attack? Like Rose and Bernard. Seriously, what happened to them? But I'm really liking this 3 years ago, 3 years later thing. Really great storytelling. What if the Sawyer-Jin connection runs into Ben as a young boy? That's like the question, if you had the chance to go back and kill Hitler, would you do it? Probably trying to explain time travel by now. Oh my gosh, that's Charlotte. They purposely did not show her mom. Have the others proven themselves to be such dangerous adversaries that when one man, Richard, walks up, they go through all of these security procedures? Sawyer said your buddy out there with the eyeliner? How awesome is that? Finally, someone on the show actually makes mention of it. Why do the others want the body of the dead guy, Paul? My guess is a creepy Halloween prop at the front door, but who knows? Okay, Amy is with Horus right now. But when Ben was born, Horus drove up in a car with a blonde-haired woman that we later found out her name was Olivia. Olivia was the school teacher of Ben and Annie when they had that flashback and the others attacked and they had to hide and all that stuff. Where is Olivia? Later, in a vision of Locke, he sees Horus chopping down trees to build a cabin, which he claims he's building it for the missus. Like everyone else, that necklace seemed very familiar, like I've seen it on a character before this episode. If you know who wore it in a previous episode, comment below. In the meantime, the necklace that Amy grabbed off of Paul's body was an Egyptian symbol. In lieu of butchering the pronunciation, here's how it's spelled. Ankh. It's an Egyptian hieroglyphic that means eternal life. It is also known as the key of life. Something else that struck me in this episode is that Horace Goodspeed's name could easily be Horus. Horus. Horus was an Egyptian god. Furthermore, the Eye of Horus was an Egyptian symbol of protection and royal power from deities. The Eye of Horus also has mathematical numbers representing different parts of it. Horace Goodspeed was the island mathematician. Could it also be a relation to the eye of the island that Locke looked into? Sawyer is totally flirting with Juliet. Between 1974 and 1977, Sawyer is the sweetest guy in the world. And Sawyer is finally happy. But Kate's coming back. Horace is a father. It's a boy, but we don't know the name. Is 3 years long enough to get over somebody? Sawyer only knew Kate for about 100 days on the island. He's been with Juliet for 3 years. How could he still be in love with Kate? I haven't even seen Kate this episode yet, and I'm already annoyed with her. It's such a pun, I know, but LaFleur is the flower in French, and he gave a flower to Juliet. Why did the Dharma Initiative decide to color all their vehicles that color blue? Welcome to the love quadrilateral. Jack, Kate, Sawyer, Juliet. Jack loves Kate and kinda likes Juliet. Juliet kinda liked Jack, but now she loves Sawyer. Sawyer had a schoolboy infatuation with Kate that he couldn't get over, but now he's in love with Juliet. Kate will love anyone when she needs something from them. And now that the quad's back together, I need to come up with a name for this. Jacat Toyerette. Skatey Attack. Jowackate. Let's just stick with the quad. And now, it's time for message board chatter. As people on the boards are trying to figure out who's worn that necklace in a past episode of Lost, there's a heightened desire to look into Egyptian mythology and trying to figure out which character relates to which Egyptian god. And please, finally, will people stop posting that the kid that Horace and Amy had was Ben? It is bad for the writers to question our intelligence and throw in a surprise twist that the kid born was Ben when we clearly saw Ben being born in the flashback on the side of the road in Portland. And now it's time for a segment that I like to call Theory of the Week that I'm not sure I can get behind. Yeah. There's a theory going around that Rose and Bernard are Adam and Eve from season 1, and the black and white rocks were actually just markers for their race. The story goes that during these time jumps, Rose and Bernard, because of their age, couldn't handle it, and they died. And then the Fire Arrow Losty survivors took them to the caves and laid them to rest. I'm not really sure if I can buy into it because Rose and Bernard were pivotal second-tier characters that we have an invested emotional interest in, and I really don't like that idea of just killing them off and letting them be Adam and Eve. And for the billionth time, the show is not purgatory. A lot of people are bringing up purgatory again because of the whole Egyptian mythology. And now, question of the week. I apologize for that. That was really lame. When they finally reveal the face of the four-toed statue, whose face will it be and why? Funny answers will receive 10 Shroot Bucks, or 100 Stanley Nickels, or nothing. 2 weeks until the next Lost, entitled Namaste. City of Statues, play me out.